The climate change has been a hot topic now, and the major impact of climate change on the forestry has many aspects, but one of the very direct impact on the forestry is that the climate change will cause a mismatch between the climate the trees has been adapted to and the climate the trees will experience in the future. For each species, they can only survive within a given range of climate conditions. But on the other hand, those climates are available for this species, but this species is not there yet. So there can be a waste of natural resources. I developed a simple framework for this task. This framework contains three major components: the climate data, the impact analysis, and the adaptation. For the climate data, now we have a lot of climate data available from different sources. But the climate variables generated by the climatologists or meteorologists, they have their own interests. But for the foresters and the ecologists, we need many more climate variables than they can provide. For doing this, solving this problem, we developed some climate models or programs called Climate BC, and later I expanded to Climate WA, West and North America. Through this program, you can input the coordinates of your location of interest, then you get all the climate variables. In North America, the PRISM data developed by the Oregon State University is the best. But at the mountain, their data is at a 4-kilometer resolution. But for the flat area, it's already fine. But for the mountain areas, it's not good enough. Our program can generate climate data which match better with topography. And also, not only it looks good in terms of the resolution, it also improves the accuracy. Say, when we use over 3,000 weather station data to validate our output, here is the original PRISM data, here weather stations, here's our climate model output. You can see the spread of the points reduce a lot. We integrate the future climate projections, and we not only integrate them, we also improve them. And for example, the resolution from the general circulation model, global circulation model is poor. For BC, this is a typical resolution. For BC, there are only 9 points. We use a combination of annual spline and also bilinear interpolation and downscale to the point. Then we add this change into our high-resolution baseline data, and then we can get high-resolution future climate data. And we use the same approach to integrate the historical data. For the assessment, in order to assess the impact of climate change on the ecosystem and on the forest trees, we first need to establish plant-climate relationships. The basis is that we use the relationship between the realized niche and the climate variables. And the assumption is that the realized niche is the result of adaptation and to the local climate, also the interactions with the other species. But the challenge is that the relationship between the climate and the current vegetation distribution or classifications is not that easy. It's a big complex. So the model accuracy is a challenge. And for BC, we have the spatial climate data for the whole range. And we also have the digital classification of the ecosystems. There are 16 major ecosystem classes and 150 subclasses and 210 the third level classes. Our model is based on the third level of the classes. And the future climate there are so many scenarios. One is not enough, we agree. So we tried 3. gradually people say, oh, 3 is still not enough. And there are over 140 climate change scenarios in the IPCC website. Which way to go? Any scenario will lead to a totally different results. Here is the range of the 140 scenarios for 2050 for BC. Later on, I developed a new approach called consensus projection. We use the 20 scenarios, and each scenario have a projection. Then we use the 20 to vote. I only take the highest vote for the final one. Now we can have one best guess, still a guess. In order to make the guess more reliable, we also provide the model agreement. All the 20 projections agree on one thing. Every model say, this is the result. But for the white area, only low to 6 models say yes. All other 14 models say different things. For the dark area, it's pretty safe. The predictions for the different ecosystem zones are very different for the future. For some zones, they will diffuse and disappear. For some other zones, they will expand. Climate change is a challenge, but also provides some opportunities if we can use this future climate wisely. After we projected the ecosystems, we can associate the species with this ecosystem. And there are 46 native major species. Another thing, here is the provenance trail. There are over 140 provenances range-wide, and tested in BC over 60 test sites. This has been used to identify which provenance is good for each site. But with the climate data available, we can have more use of this test. And recently we developed a new approach to integrate the response function, which representing the environmental effect, and the gene ecology functions, which represent genetic effect. We can integrate them together to have a universal response function. Because this is a universal response function, this has a very good use. For example, we have a seed source, we have seeds collected from here. We want to know where it can perform well, where it can be used. Here's the prediction. The dark color means more productive area. But on the other hand, if you have a site, you want to know where to get the seed. So the universal response function will tell you where to get the seed. The last part, how to develop adaptational strategies for the forest resource management. For BC, the seed transfer system is a routine. So when you collect the seeds from an area, you have to follow the rules where the seeds can be used. And they develop those zones. The different color represent different species seed planting units. The seed can be only used within the same color zone. Because we already predict the shift of those ecosystem zones, then we can predict the future seed transfer system. Now we have climate data, assessment data, and adaptational data. And we need a web-based platform for those results to be delivered to the users. I recently developed a Google Map-based platform. That integrate climate models and the predictions into the same package. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you.